6'10", graduated early. Yes, he's a sophomore, but still probably 18, 19 years old, being physical at the net.
There is Rosenthal. He is a product from Maricosta High School. And for anybody that knows the high school volleyball scene, everybody knows Maricosta. They produce a whole lot of talent, and just like that, it's the Rainbow Warriors on top 2-0.
Absolutely. Even though he's around 6'9", 6'10", that we've already talked about, he is known for really distributing the ball and some of his touch.
I mean, 6'9". They have him down at 6'11" here, coming from Austin, Texas, but here he comes. Good, no problems for the Matadors. They get that first kill on the board. Just a matter of getting that first one out of the way, right, Coach?
Absolutely. You might as well go to one of the best hitting percentage leaders in the country, freshman Stilian in the middle from Bulgaria. Definitely look to him to be a big staple if CSUN wants to get a win.
So Stilian Belibokasov coming in. And just like that, the service error, giving the ball back over to Hawaii and making it back to a 2-point game. So the Rainbow Warriors are going to turn to Adrian War, the freshman from Lyon, France. And I know you had a whole lot to say about some of these French natives, as that'll be another service error. Both programs exchanging service errors.
Yeah, it's a big part of men's volleyball. Just everyone side outs at such a high clip. You got to be aggressive from the service line. So don't be surprised to see a lot of aces, a lot of errors tonight, especially early on.
So now we'll have a California native in, Donovan Constable, that was on that service. And there is a rejection there from the net. A little bit of some defense there in the net with the mid blockers.
Really hard to pitch, hit past Jalen. You can see him grabbing at his jaw. Necessarily a middle with another attacking middle.
All right, trying to settle things down right there and able to find some space there, give it another kill.
Big kill. I'm really interested to see what that right side against CSUN.
Native and Kurt Nuster, the junior mid blocker, who's going to get a chance to serve it here with Hawaii up 4-3. Right out of the gates, very close game here, these two. And Hawaii on the great reception, trying to attack there at the net. The rejection, and count that one. Again, you'll love the defense here from the front line. The blockers are doing their job, and it's exactly what you want to do. Stop all of the Hawaii attacks there at the nets.
Absolutely, and this freshman, not freshman, this new middle blocker, Shane, number 9, got this first start last week. Does a lot of really good things at the net, being really physical, and we just saw it right there. Roll call. We talked about how high he touches. He can touch around 12 feet. One of the second behind Jalen Phillips on how high he can touch. So I'm really looking forward to watching his week progress.
That's Bertozzi on the service, and there's another service error. We've seen our third one here in the match, and now you give it back over to Hawaii. But I mean, you're loving what you're already seeing right out of the gates here in set number 1 here by the Matadors. You're loving just that protection there at the nets. You're seeing them just trying to stop all of these Rainbow Warrior attacks. Here is the service. That's coming from Natriski, the freshman. And give that one, the point back over to Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors.
This has been kind of the name right now for CSUN. Jalen Phillips, one of the most talented players in the country with some slow starts. I'm looking forward to watching CSUN try to get him involved and comfortable early on.
Give that one back over to the Matadors. And score back 6-all here in the first set. As the unis here in this one, I mean, the Matadors rocking a little bit of the Chicago Bulls type of look. I thought the Bulls were in town, but then the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, they are coming in with the road greens, a bit of a different Hawaii uni here with the rainbow across the chest here, and certainly a mix of some green and red here in attendance.
Yeah, it's a really good night for uniform fans. You got the throwback with Hawaii, the new kind of Chicago Bulls style uniforms here at CSUN.
Not a problem there for the service, as that one does get a piece of it, but it still gets through. And Hawaii, once again, able to even up the score at 7s. Give us the ball back.
Yeah, really look forward to Joao Avila, an undersized outside, originally recruited as a libero. Watch Hawaii try to expose that matchup.
That's Louis Sakanoko from Paris. Coming up with here. That's going to go through. Again, Coach, it's a lot going on here at the net here for the Matadors. Just a lot of protection there, and you're seeing the Rainbow Warriors trying to draw something up, but immediately rejected.
Yeah, that's one of the most talented freshmen in the country, Stillian, right there. You know, Hawaii dialed it up, but he still was able to score.
Going on that attack. Good reception here for the Matadors. A little miscommunication in the back line. Couldn't quite be on the same page as them.
Kind of shocking to see that hoop, the drawn up hoop, got in the way. Good idea to try to flip it up, give Joao plenty of time to attack. Just a little bit too high.
And Todd, the redshirt freshman mid-blocker, coming from Houston. With the draw up here immediately. Stopped there by the Rainbow Warriors, taking a little notes of what the Matadors are doing at the net.
Yeah, they're big, they're physical, and they're strong. And everyone in the gym knows in trouble scenarios, the ball's going to go to Jalen Phillips, even if he's in the back row. So seeing four hands, he's got to get used to it, and he has before, but we've got to find a rhythm for him to have a chance.
And that's going to be a service ace. Trying to attack that back line, and they just couldn't dig it up or come up receiving it cleanly. On something like that, Coach, what do you tell your players when it comes to receiving a clean serve like that?
It's tough because he brings a lot of speed. That one dropped a little bit short and caught our libero on his toes. Interesting serve right here. Bad toss. Can the Matadors capitalize? There they go. That's a really big thing right now. Joao does not scenarios, some easier choices to try to score.
Kill there for Joao Pedro Avila. And stopped there at the nets. Can they receive it? No, they can't save it. And, well, the Matadors, again, they're going neck and neck with one of the nation's best here. And right now, gotta say, you love the quality of volleyball they're putting out here tonight.
They're united. They're playing well together. That block doesn't have too many holes. As long as they're going up strong together and pressing through the net, the Matadors have a good block as well.
Setting one up here. There's a hole there from the front line. Able to dig that one now. Keep this one going. And it'll be blocked out.
And you love to see that from what is called a quote-unquote undersized setter. Donovan Constable, he's so crafty. He's so athletic. You see a middle back setting to your setter to get a kill. That's got to get your team fired up.
See if they can get this one over the nets. And that's going to be hit out. As they're giving away some points here for the Matadors, and so far this 2-point lead, the biggest lead that they have had here tonight.
And this is something that I saw last week. The hybrid serves from CSUN really caused a lot of trouble. Joao's going to toss it like a topspin and then hit it with the float. He does it every now and then, did it again, and it really catches Hawaii off guard.
Going up and setting that, and another hit error. That's going to be to Christian Tatriski, the freshman from Bulgaria. And timeout called by the Rainbow Warriors head coach and Charlie Wade. As it'll be the Matadors that will go on top 13-10 here in the first set here on ESPN+. CSUN, I'm alongside women's head coach Aquiles Montoya. Alex Naveja with you guys, going from softball to some men's volleyball. Take a look at some of the highlights here in this first set. I mean, a whole lot to cheer about. And right now, nothing really to cheer about after coming out of the timeouts for Coach Wade and his program, getting the point on a service error, and they're back within two. Tread Rosenthal, a lot of hype around him. Again, the former Maricosta Mustang. Loyola and Maricosta, two of the best in the high school scene. Kill, give that one over to the Matadors.
Really impressive, and it's been a constant theme for CSUN. Everyone that's heard me talk about them or has scouted them, when Stillian is starting from behind Donovan, I feel like they go to him 90% of the time, and they're scoring a lot. So I'd really lock in that rotation.
I set one up right there, and that one's still able to go over the nets. But it's still, I mean, again, just like you mentioned, how physical the Bows come in attacking. I mean, this one has some serious ump to it on that.
Yeah.
On this hit here by Louis Sakonoko.
He's so good out of the back row, almost just as good as he is out of the front.
Reception there for San Pedro there. The points give that one over to Hawaii. And now the lead is only down to 1.
You're okay with that early on. You want to try to see if you can get Shane involved early instead of letting Hawaii's block camp out on the outside.
There is War, who is on the how about that reception there for Choi. Haven't really seen a rally go too lengthy here between these two. They've been getting quick scores here in this one. Little battle there at the nets. Setting that one up, and that one, credit that one, as that one was blocked out. Little side out.
Whatever it takes to get Jalen Phillips deeply involved with this offense once again like he did in the first half of this season. Doesn't matter if it's over the block or through it. You got to get him confident so that Matadors have a chance tonight.
And that was Donovan Constable, the senior setter from Clovis, who gives the ball back over to Hawaii. This time around going with Finn Kearney, the Phoenix, Arizona native coming from Sandra Day O'Connor High School, the freshman. Could be an opposite hitter or an outside hitter here for the Bows. Coming off of the bench here. Left-handed serve. And how about that, Phillips? Doing as you said, Coach, he's getting up there. Hang time is serious.
The big thing is that you can see with a pretty solid pass, all options are open. That middle's late to get there, and so is the right side. And typically in rotation 1, those attackers are attacking on opposite ends. CSUN is great in rotation 1. And Shane bangs that one right there, really showing off his vertical. But kind of going back to that, in rotation 1, CSUN is as comfortable as any team in the country. Jalen being really good, and also Bertozzi actually coming in as an opposite.
Shane being able to see the hole there in the front line as they're trying to save this one, and that's one great thing that the Bows do out of the many things. Preserving plays. Dig attempt, couldn't come up with it, and just like that, CSUN on top here, 18-14. And it looks like a timeout is going to be used here by Coach Wade. We're going to go ahead and keep it here inside of the Premier America Credit Union Arena. And I mean, I'm alongside Coach Aquiles Montoya. So what are some of the things you've been seeing that you love here for the Matadors?
It's one of the things that I actually really like about this situation. It's a win-win for CSUN. Their best player, everyone knows, Jalen Phillips, has been on a little bit of a cold streak. We can all be honest about it. Huge fan of him. It hasn't been what to get him the ball. CSUN's able to, like you've seen there, because Stillian and other players have been able to get involved. So it's actually opening some things up for him. And if he gets hot like he is, right, then you can really start riding on that confidence that he has had throughout his career here at CSUN. So I think that's what I've been really like seeing. First contact, CSUN's has been back from a scenario like this.
Never want to sleep on a team like the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, but right now Stillian with 3 kills, Phillips with 3 kills. And right now Stillian, his hit percentage hitting over 1,000 right now on 3 total attacks, has yet to come up with a hit error. He's been pretty big. Phillips has been a big part of the offense here by CSUN, but a lot of the blocks that are going down there at the net too. That's been huge as well. Right now on block assists, they have 7. 7 block assists. You're able to read that one well by Phillips. And that one just overcooked. All right, that'll be point there for the Matadors.
Bailed them out right there at the net violation. Joao went for the high hands, clearly missed it. The Rainbow Warriors got a little too ambitious at that net and touched it before the point ended.
Matadors' biggest lead right now by 5. We're in set number 1. And that one just hit out. You're hoping that maybe that was going to squeeze in towards the back line. So Christian Tatriski, the freshman opposite hitter, now coming up. Both programs sharing some service errors of their own to give the ball back here for the Matadors. Need 5 more to come back or to be able to finish up this set. And I mean, it really comes down to the first set, in my opinion. If you can win that first set, I feel like that's maybe the table setter for the whole entire match.
Absolutely. You want to start off strong, especially for CSUN, who has lost a couple in a row. If they can get the home crowd behind them, if they can take this first set, it sets up the rest.
That was Justin Todd, the freshman middle blocker. He's able to do his job, but now it is Louis Sakanoko. Sakanoko with 1 kill. He has 1 error on 4 total attacks right now. Trying to set that one up. They have to redraw it. And that one's going to be blocked out. And I feel as though the Bows, they haven't been able to block cleanly. A lot of side outs here. They've given up a couple of points throughout the sets that definitely they would love to get back.
Absolutely. You can see the blocks uneven. They're kind of guessing and jumping. And before, CSUN might have been a little bit more predictable when you knew every ball was going to go to Jalen in those neat scenarios. Now it's kind of up in the air. So it's a little bit of a favor to CSUN right now, and they're taking full advantage of it.
So points coming from different categories as Phillips. Pretty good jump serve, attacking the back line, and just like that, the back line here for the Matadors able to do their job. Shorter man now back into full strength, and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors are getting that point. It was almost like a split second. They were short a guy there.
Yeah, some really good teamwork right there. Maybe we'll get a replay of that down the road. Chihuahua's coming under the net. Libero Chris Carnesi come in, grab him to say, stay on our side or we don't lose this point. They end up doing it, but you love to see that teamwork from CSUN.
Kainoa Wade.
Charlie Wade's son.
Trying to preserve that one, and he does. Coming up with a dig. A little miscommunication there by the Rainbow Warriors. But hey, nonetheless, the Matadors, they're able to capitalize now on a point of their own. They need 3 more.
Absolutely. There's a little bit of confusion there. Stillian snuck it in with that overpass. You can see a little bit of a collision with the opposite and tread on sending that ball over.
So now here's Joao Pedro Avila, the freshman from Rio de Janeiro. Back line having some troubles to be able to get that one over the net. Service ace there for the Matadors.
It's that hybrid serve from Joao that's really causing them trouble. And then I appreciate Lewis trying to flick that ball over, but a little bit too aggressive.
Could this be another ace? And we're looking at it here. Another service ace there for the Matadors. And they go with set point.
And it's so funny if you watch a men's volleyball, some of the best topspin servers are getting around 70 miles per hour. This float serve may be going around 50, but it's moving. So you got to think change up, knuckleball, caused a lot of confusion for passers.
Trying to get that one over instead of trying to set one up. And there is a set point against the mighty Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. So we'll go ahead and step aside here from the Premier America Credit Union Arena on the campus of CSUN. 1-0 in favor of the Matadors. CSUN takes set number 1 over number 5 ranked Hawaii here in this Big West matchup. Alex Neveka here for CSUN. But when you look at the numbers here, Coach, you split the 2, and I mean, you would think, hey, kills, but that hasn't been the case here for the Matadors. They have done the little things right here, especially the battle there at the net. 7 blocks.
But since he's been a little bit cold, some slow starts this past week, Hawaii was caught a little bit off guard when they went to him in those typical scenarios, and he's capitalized. That's been one of the biggest things.
You're seeing some of those side outs that have gone against Hawaii throughout this first set. I mean, that has costed them a couple of points as well. I mean, it's a mixture of the kills, the blocks, and some of the mistakes that Hawaii has committed throughout that first set. And I mean, if CSUN, in my opinion, if they could continue to capitalize and ride this momentum, I mean, we could definitely see a pretty big first win here for the Matadors.
Absolutely. I mean, this crowd right now, you could say it's maybe
Tread Rosenthal, the ex-Miracosta Mustang. He's going to go and received well by Pedro Avila. So far, so good for these two. And again, the battle there at the net. You're loving that duo. You're seeing a Donovan Constable along with Stelian that's able to come in and get Matadors on the board first.
And if you ever wondered why he was one of the best blockers in the nation, if not that one, just look at that clip right there. He does such a good job of timing when he presses and fans his block down. Anything that finds it is going straight down.
So we see Stelian that will be coming in with the service, and he's going to go after the back line. Get a piece of it there at the nets and setting that one up and trying to give it over to Bertozzi. And again, 2-0 lead, Matadors.
A really crafty play there by Bertozzi. Donovan did a good job of saving that ball from going over the net. Naturally put the set a little bit tighter than he typically does, but Bertozzi recognized it, swiped it off where there's no defenders for CSUN to win the point.
9 blocks here in this match so far as Stelian gives the ball back over to the Rainbow Warriors. Going to see Adrian War, the freshman outside hitter, Lyon, France native, coming back. And you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast here, Coach. I mean, there's a lot of young players here in the Hawaii program in their roster. And, I mean, Coach Wade needing to coach up the youth, try to get them to compete with some of these Big West programs.
I think something that he's definitely experienced that, so there's never really a concern as you can see one of those young guns showing off that talent. But, you know, they've done it before. They've come back from dropping a first set and whatnot. So CSUN right now, their big thing is, hey, let's compete, let's push and find ourselves in the red zone and an opportunity to win so they don't feel like that first set was a fluke.
So Kurt Neuster going to serve this one, no problems there for Bertozzi to receive it. And there's your man. It's Phillips all over again, doing what he does best right here, just dialing up these kills.
Here's the thing, if you watch this play by Donovan, there's not a lot of players that could save a ball that tight and still get it all the way out to the pin. So we're highlighting 2 athletic players in both Donovan and Jalen Phillips.
And Bertozzi couldn't quite dig that one up. And a nice little back and forth affair between these 2 programs. Tatriski, the freshman opposite hitter from Bulgaria, is going to get a chance to come up on the service here for set number 2. Dug up well, leave it up to the libero here for the Matadors. Again, popping this one up, no play. And we're all leaving up at 4s here in set number 2.
And it's fun to watch Adrian right there come out of the back row. Hawaii's one of the best in the nation and utilizing their back row attack. With how physical everyone is at the men's D1 level, they're almost just as good out of the back row as they are the front row.
No problems there. Once again, trying to set one up and credit that kill to João Pedro Avila, the Brazilian.
Dangerous set right there, using an undersized attacker and leaving them inside intentionally. He's not all the way out to the pin, but they're going to be creative. Use him because that matchup, a 6'1 attacker going up a 6'11 Tread Rosenthal, you got to get creative.
Trying to set that one up, and it's going to be overcooked. And they were hoping that, hey, just maybe it is the Matadors that is on top, but they are leading the way on 1 set, 2-0 here against Hawaii. And I mean, Coach, if we want to see CSUN win another set, I mean, what's something you got to tell your players right about?
With the first set and where we're at right now, even though it's early, our style of play is working. We don't have to play outside of what we are capable of doing. Everyone's got to do their job. Stay humble, stay ahead, think next play ahead, put the ones behind, and just think 1 point at a time. We don't have to think about, will we pull this upset off? Let's just worry about the next point ahead. And I think that's the biggest thing. Theo, one of the best coaches in the nation, he's so calm and collective, and these guys really respond well to it. I think that's what they're thinking. But unfortunately, their challenge reversed. They saw the net on Stelian on that block move right there. We saw a couple of those replays in slow motion. So you had to reverse it.
You're seeing Theo Edwards, 3rd season as the head coach, 15 seasons here with the Matadors. And I mean, the mighty fine work that he does on every season. I mean, he's been with the program for 15 years. I mean, well deserved for him to be able to take the head coaching job. And so far, he has just done great work here with the Matadors every season.
And no one could be prouder than him being a CSUN alum, being a starting outside when they went to the Final Four. There's no better person to lead CSUN right now. The alumni think that, the school thinks that, everyone that knows CSUN volleyball could not be happier with what Theo Edwards is doing with this program.
Coach Edwards, class of 2010, so 15 years ago. As Phillips going to come up with a service. So far, so good here for the Rainbow Warriors, and they attack the back line, left it a little open in that side of the back line.
Really good swing out of the back row, considering CSUN still had two strong blockers up. I think he can hit it around. That's what these Rainbow Warriors are capable of.
Justin Todd, the freshman mid-blocker, he's going to get a chance here. So Bertozzi receiving, and it going with Avila. And again, like you said, a very undersized attacker, but then again, here you see him, they're setting it up for him, and he ends up coming up with a just excellent attack.
And if he can win those one-on-one battles, especially against Trey Rosenthal, CSUN has a chance. That's been the name of the game, I think, essentially the whole year. Everyone's going to lock in on these awesome middles that CSUN has, and they win the outsides, those one-on-one battles.
Well, for all of their efforts, it was Kurt Nuster that would end up coming in, the Indianapolis native. He was able to come in, finish up the job. I mean, it was looking pretty good there for the Matadors. I mean, that was Stillion that was there at the net. Couldn't quite finish the job, leaving it open in the front line. There's Trey Rosenthal. Leave it to the libero and Chris Carnes is getting that one over. Not a very well drawn up play. Good rejection there at the net. Going with the save, and again, but it was a side out against the Matadors.
Good scramble and hustle play there by CSUN. A lot of action going on, balls hitting backboards that are up on basketball hoops. To even make it competitive, you can see some of that home court advantage.
I mean, as a coach, does that really bother you when you see the ball go off of the backboard? It kind of messes with your players?
From time to time, I think it's actually it's worse in other gyms. It's not that bad here. As Jalen goes off the block, fantastic and acrobatic work right there by Choi, the libero, right tiptoeing on it like Michael Jackson back in the day. I wish we'd get a replay of that one. My goodness, almost took out our staff, but he made it look so easy.
I mean, Ileu Choi, 5'7", is showing off some of the hops. Who said liberos don't have hops either? Stillion, good looking serve, and that's going to be hit out.
Big swing, just a little bit wide.
Just a little bit. Stillion will get another chance here. I mean, take a look at it. It's trying to set up the attack there, and that's a hit error coming from Christian Tatrisky. Trying to go after that back line again here for Hawaii. I mean, I feel like it's just great awareness, seeing where the holes are here on in the CSUN defense, seeing where to attack, and it's just great volleyball IQ coming from the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go after those deep seams as much as possible. I understand these guys want the highlights to hit it straight down. That's typically where the block is. So if you can go after those deep spots in the court where there's not a defender, you're going to have a lot of success. So I think, Charlie's definitely going to talk to those guys about it. Don't get this block involved too much for CSUN and get them confident. Let's go after those high-efficiency swings deeper into the court.
Here's Donovan Constable. And unfortunately, his service game has just been a little MIA here tonight. I feel like he's trying to go with more of the oomph, more of the velo, playing against Hawaii, trying to show off more of the strength instead of trying to locate his serves here tonight.
And he's one of those guys that can really ramp it up in the MPH department. So especially early on when there's not a hole, I'm not surprised to see him go for it. If they're down maybe a point or two, I can see him be a little bit more conservative.
So again, on the receiving end of things, CSUN has been very good on receiving the services. There's the tree ski, but he hits that one out. Tree ski here on the night, 7 kills, 4 errors on 13 total attacks. Hit percentage only 231 now.
You see a challenge here by Charlie Wade saying that that ball was down and in on the line.
So we see a second challenge here by Hawaii. But I mean, if you're Hawaii right now, you're really trying to fight for every one of these points. 1 point could really be the difference maker. And I mean, Coach, you know it better. I mean, you'll fight for every point.
It seemed, and we'll kind of see with this replay right here, has to be, right, there has to be good evidence. It looks pretty close. You might see this flipped once again. And especially since Charlie won his first one, he's more willing to do it. And he immediately looked at his bench, right? And we do it a lot as coaches. We look at our bench. What did you see? Did it look in? You got to know some of the camera angles before the match as well. And they were pretty fast to say, hey, that ball around here. We can flip this and not allow them any sort of lead with this crowd and this environment, and we need it. We're down 1 set, so no surprise to see him there. Wow, okay. Must have seen a different angle than us. I thought we definitely saw it.
Bosses are listening. So here's Bertozzi. Able to get a piece of it. The mid-blockers were able to slow down that attack there at the net. Does that stay in? Yes, once again. Love the work from João Pedro Avila.
You just can't say enough about someone that's able to score in those scenarios, right? Donovan just rolled that ball up out of desperation. Let's just send it over. Avila said, no, I want it all. And he went for that line shot. It fell perfectly behind that big block of Hawaii.
At this point, it's more about the power and the athleticism that's beating more of the lengthy Rainbow Warriors right about now as Phillips' attack, it goes through.
Phillips kind of snuck it through there. He's immediately pointing to the ground. Might have slipped a little bit in transition, maybe some sweat there. But as we've seen here, it doesn't matter how he scores. If we can have him confident throughout the match, and whether he's chiseling off the block, tips and whatnot, that's a really big thing.
You would think Phillips is going to be that go-to guy, as that one just a little short there by Bertozzi. But, I mean, we've seen Phillips, we've seen Avila, we've seen Stelian. I mean, we've seen a number of players contributing on the kills categories. But, I mean, it's kind of tough when you're Hawaii. Who's the guy that you look out for when it comes to these kills?
Right now, CSUN's just distributing the ball well. You got to try to read Donovan as best as you can. And right now, it's hard for Hawaii to do it.
Sakonoko has something to say there for Phillips at the nets. No chance there for the Bows. But, again, it's Ileu Choi, who, again, you see this guy everywhere. I mean, you've seen him trying to keep these plays alive. I mean, looking at that play once again, Choi flying and seeing if maybe he had a chance.
Absolutely, and he's going to do that the whole match, whether he's jumping on score tables or into the bleachers.
Sakonoko pretty holding that one. Getting that one over. They don't fall for it. And nothing. That one right in between Bertozzi and Constable. Going after that back line. And if you, Coach, if you take a look at João Pedro Avila, almost like he awkwardly stepped. A little grimacing face that he had there. And a little discomfort. You could read his body language.
Yeah, we might have had a player come under the net or some sort of collision. I think Coach Theo Edwards just challenged if the back row attacker, Christian, block or, on an attacker coming underneath the net. So here's that replay there. Kind of hard to see as Tread blocks it. Yeah, it just looks like it might have been somewhere earlier in the play where he tweaked something. Not really sure. Hope he's okay. I know he suffered from some calf cramps last week against Santa Barbara, so hopefully it's not.
Or the Matadors, and looking at the previous play once again, and you could just see Avila right after this play, after he tries to come up with his block.
Okay.
Everything looks fine.
Yeah.
But then once you see him land is when it gets a little interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd have to know. I kind of want to know. It might not have been that play. I know that we didn't see the clear angle, but it looked like he was clearly fine. So, man, I'm 1 for 3 on these calls tonight. I'm a little bit shocked, but hey, you know, they have the better cameras, so we're good.
So we're going to go ahead and take a break here from the Premier America Credit Union Arena, home of Matadors men's volleyball. Set number 2, but it's the CSUN Matadors up a set here in this one. Alex Nevek alongside of me is Coach Aquiles Montoya, the women's head volleyball coach. And it's a pleasure to be a part of your Friday evening wherever you may be, as it has been an action-packed Friday here for CSUN Athletics. As softball, they split the doubleheader against UC Davis, and baseball currently going on right now against Cal State Fullerton, as points going in favor of the Rainbow Warriors coming out of this challenge, but a very quick 4-2 score in the top of the 5th inning in favor of the Cal State Fullerton Titans. So right now it's a 3-point lead here for the Matadors. Didn't really draw anything up on that play. Give me that. Stelian able to come in and just, it's a free kill right there. Front line just lacking that coverage.
Just toss it up, a little bit of hang time, just swats it down. You just love to see it. A little bit of miscommunication or misconnection by Hawaii. Stelian takes advantage.
Phillips, really good serve towards the back line. Stopped right there again. Stelian, responsible for both of the points here.
Back-to-back blocks logged by him. That's why he's one of the best blockers in the nation. You know, he's just really good at getting across. You could see a little bit of that fan there at the end. So anything that hits him is well-timed and going down.
6'6" there for Stelian, as that one coming in hot by the Rainbow Warriors. Adrian War, he came in with that attack, keeping this at a 4-point game. So now that'll be Finn Kearney coming from Sandra Day O'Connor High. We're seeing a lot of the freshmen being showcased here for Coach Wade. Setting that one up, and that was Bertozzi. Got to come up with it, and they do get it over the net. They'll be short of man for a very quick second. Try to calm things down just a little bit, and just couldn't put that one back over.
Uh-oh. Point CSUN regardless of the block. A little bit of a net there on the block play by, I think, Tread Rosenthal is who they're calling it. It's maybe against the middle, but also a little bit of a collision there with the Bulgarian foe. So
very interesting. I mean, again, Hawaii has been giving away some of these points in net violations or just a couple of mental mistakes here by the Bows throughout this match. So we're seeing CSUN take advantage of it. Up by 5. Not too hot for Phillips to handle. Going back over to Tread Rosenthal. I don't know, he's been getting a whole lot of looks here. I mean, he's got a very young collegiate career, only a sophomore, and we know people are taking looks at him.
Yeah, we got Karchkarai in the building. People refer to him as kind of the GOAT, the Michael Jordan of the sport. Stelian kind of hits long, taking a peek. This is someone that people are saying could be an Olympic setter for the Stars and Stripes. So definitely someone to look after right now.
You guys are getting a front row seat. That's it. That is, if you're watching it with us on ESPN Plus. If you're here in the building, everybody already knows who Tread Rosenthal is. Able to dig that one up. Stelian. Here come the Bows. Put that one up, and just a lack of coverage in the back line. But it's a little bit of a shaken up there. Joao Pedro Avila. Doesn't seem like he's shooken up, but I mean, just a little bit of a lack of coverage in that back line.
Yeah, just kind of tough. You figure when Stelian's up there on the block, deflections are going to be deep. He snuck that one in short. Hard for him to recover.
Good pass over to Bertozzi. Got to be in full strength. again. How about that duo of Donovan Constable and Steelian there at the net?
You love to see it. Once again, Donovan's got to be one of the most fun setters to watch in the country. Look at that reach over, takes the glutes to the shoulder, kind of transformer, spins out of that after getting the block. It's fantastic.
3 solo blocks here for the Matadors. But as a program, they have 11 block assists.
CSUN using a little bit more of those hybrids, even with Stillian on the serve-receive line, keeping Hawaii's passers on their toes.
War. Good reception there for Avila. Going with Phillips. Phillips wide open. Right in front of the back line. Can't leave it open when you have Phillips right there.
Absolutely not, and you got to be perfectly timed, because even if he was a little early or a little late, he's got the hang time to beat a block that's not perfectly timed.
Well, Constable, again, just continues to struggle on the service side of things. Giving the ball back over to the Rainbow Warriors. It's a close 20-18 here in set number 2, but the Matadors were able to take set number 1. Kainoa Wade, Coach Wade's son, just as Coach mentioned. Trying to set that one. Bertozzi. He's starting to cook. He's starting to be more involved in these Matador attacks.
And there's no better time to get him involved in that rotation 1. He came in as an opposite for CSUN. Coach Theo being fantastic in service. He trained him then to be an outside, but you can see that blood. He's used to swinging on the right, and CSUN loves using him there.
Bertozzi, the Italian, being able to come up on the serve. And you were just hoping that was maybe just going to go over, stay fair, but, well, keeping it to this 2-point game.
And that's that matchup that they're going to try to go after, right? Even Shane, he touches around 12 feet, but he's a 6'5", middle blocker, which is crazy. That's taller than most people, is a little bit undersized for the middle position.
That was Tatrisky that was on the service, who a little while ago got his 11th kill. Speaking of kills, there for the Matadors. 3 away.
Maybe it's not conventional. Maybe you're not going to see the big booms on Instagram and social media that some of these amazing athletes do. But Joao is a gamer, and he knows how to score, whether it's using deep corners or the high hands of blockers.
Going with Shane, more of a calm, not very powerful jump serve. Good sets there for Bertozzi.
Fantastic play out of the back row by Bertozzi. Just love how they used him in the seam right there. It's just a really good spot. Instead of using your back row always right in the middle of the court, easier for blockers to kind of recover, you kind of use them in a seam where both blockers have to decide, am I helping? Wait, who's blocking?
CSUN in the first set, they won that set. Now in the second set, they continue to play CSUN quality volleyball right now, and they, in my opinion, they're playing some great quality stuff here against Hawaii.
They are, and they're being aggressive, and I just, the biggest thing is that you cannot think that Hawaii is going to go away. Even within this set, yes, it's a 4-point lead. Yes, CSUN needs 2 points to go up 2-0. But Hawaii right now, they're probably saying, hey, let's be aggressive, let's calm down, play within ourselves, and maybe hope that the style of CSUN's play won't withstand. And so whether or not they can get some momentum going into the third set or even shock some people, put a little bit of doubt into CSUN, they have enough crowd here to get behind them as well. So that's Big West men's volleyball, man. I mean, you just never know.
That is, if you are of the CSUN Matadors, if you're from the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, maybe not so much, but I'll tell you guys one thing. The Bo faithful, they come in deep, not for volleyball, but for every sport. Got to get that one over, and they do. Setting that one up, beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful there by the Rainbow Warriors. Justin Todd being able to come up with that kill.
And the big thing right there, Rosenthal jumps because he is front row as if he was going to attack. CSUN's going to beat themselves up about that because of the rule. The libero took their ball with their hands in front of the 10-foot line, which means that Tread was not allowed to attack. He used that to his advantage to fake out the blockers.
The fake that time. Give that one to the Matadors. We haven't really seen too many of those. We haven't seen too many fakes, but it works to their favor.
It's these inside sets, which is surprising at times. They call them birds for reasons I'm not allowed to disclose. Some people call them 32s or rips, but those inside sets, it's just risky to do with a 6'1" attacker against a 6'11" blocker.
Looking for a set point here for set number 2. The Matadors, they're up 2-0 as we approach the third set. We'll take a break here from Premier America Credit Union Arena here on
CSUN is capitalizing, and so is their outside hitter.
So 4 total kills for Stillion as well, 8 for Jalen Phillips here in this one. And as far as Hawaii is concerned, 11 total kills for Tatriski as well. Nobody else comes close to 11 kills here for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. But if you look at the Matadors right now, 11 blocks that were assisted and 4 solo blocks here in this one. I mean, the total team blocks right now, 9.5. And you look at Hawaii with 2. Right now, everything is going well here for the Matadors, but as you said in the break, not time to celebrate here. This is a Rainbow Warriors squad that can easily come back into this game.
Absolutely. You're closer to finishing the job, but it is very far from being done. One of the things I got to contribute right here, I know the serving numbers might scare some viewers. 2 service aces and 10 errors by CSUN. The biggest thing I'm seeing, keeping the ball off of Choi. Hawaii's libero has received only 9 of those serves. That's the 3rd lowest of everyone there. You can keep the ball off of him. You don't allow Hawaii's offense to stay in system. Keep it a little bit more predictable, and that's why I think you're seeing some of those big blocks by the Matadors defense.
Well, here at set number 3, it's been a different start to this set. I mean, the first 2, it was CSUN getting the opening points. Setting that one up, and it's Bertozzi. I mean, he's starting to cook right here offensively. We saw him be a little more silent and be that silent assassin, but now here he comes compiling some kills.
And that's what happens. When a couple teammates get hot, it opens up holes for your other players as the other opponent tries to slow down the hot attackers, and it opened up some holes. So I love that he's getting more involved.
An opportunity here, and CSUN capitalizes.
Jackers getting involved. We're talking about Donovan now, even their setter, right? And it's awesome to see. He might be, just a couple inches, not that much shorter than Rosenthal, if you can sense my sarcasm there. But he is very physical at the net. He's one of the most fun setters to watch in the nation.
Well, it's the Matadors service game that has been a little wobbly here in this third set. Right now is the score 2-all here in set number 3. As Adrian War, the freshman, coming up firing, and this will be received well here, and that one, Phillips. Phillips now with 9 kills, even up with Avila now.
Typically you see right here, Phillips coming right down the middle. He's a right side attacker, so even when he's out of the back row, you're typically going to see him attack on the right half. Typically you don't see that coming down the middle unless it's a superior athlete, which Jalen Phillips clearly is.
I almost feel like Jalen Phillips can also play a little basketball here with the hops that he has and that length. And here we go again, 0 for 3 in the service game here for the Matadors.
Hawaii trying to find some energy right now to get themselves back into this match and avoid a clean sweep.
Here's Todd. The libero for the Matadors. Able to do the trick, setting that one up, and an attack in the back line. That's Louis Sakanoko. Sakanoko trying to get cooking here with coming up with kill number 3 on 9 total attacks. Hasn't really quite gotten underway, but he's kind of been more of the underrated players here for the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, definitely a little silent of a night considering how athletic and physical he can be. I know Hawaii definitely wants to get him more involved.
Setting up Phillips once again, back line, receiving it, no problems. And now it's a back line for the Matadors. Bertozzi, and this is gonna go CSUN's way.
This is what tends to happen when you're worried about maybe an upset or things not going your way. You tend to press a little bit harder, not just on the block, in every sort of skill. And that's what you're seeing right now with Hawaii. So Charlie Wade definitely trying to calm down his Warriors so that they can get back to the ball that they're used to playing.
Free kill, I'll take it. He's just perfectly drawn up there for Phillips. I mean, that's the right guy for that perfect opportunity right there. Wide open, you guys see on the left side of your screen. Free point. Sakonoko sending that one up for Jatriski. And they're making quick work. We're seeing Hawaii work really quick. A little bit of a different team we're seeing here in set number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of those service service errors by CSUN has definitely contributed to it. But you can see these guys are like, hey, we're going to go for it. These long rallies, we're not tending to win them right now with CSUN. They're hanging in there, using the home crowd behind it. We got to try to end points fast and be aggressive.
Well, with that service error by Jatriski, you're hoping that maybe you can start changing the momentum here in set number 3 to go CSUN's way. Just able to go over the net. Stay down up for Jatriski. A little miscommunication there. It looked like Bertozzi was going to come up with it, but Shane Nurm just couldn't be on the same page.
Kind of hard, overlapping, some missed time stuff. You know, CSUN's going to try to shake it off and just get right back into their routine.
Sakonoko. Setting it up for Phillips, but it's the side out. So that was Kurt Nuster that came in on that block. Way overcooked.
And I'm looking to see if he's going to become a bigger factor. He's typically an energizer for Hawaii, been a little bit silent for them. He's going to go back to the service line, not necessarily where he produces a lot. As far as a server, he's definitely a middle blocker that does a lot from the front. But that's someone to keep your eye on right now.
Getting a chance to serve. Problems for the Matadors. Now it's Jatriski. And that's going to stay out. Give that one back over to the Matadors. 8-7. But the service errors have certainly made this game as close as it, in my opinion, really shouldn't be here in this set. Right now, 14 service errors here for the Matadors. 7 here for the Rainbow Warriors. We're going to go on the receiving end. Free kill. And the Rainbow Warriors go to Justin Todd.
Kind of unconventional, a little bit off a net for a middle attack, but that's what these float serves are kind of doing to the Warriors. They have to play from off the net, and they're not that comfortable doing it, at least as of right now.
Rosenthal, service error. You've got to take advantage of these service errors if you're the Matadors. Capitalize and get the service game going.
Absolutely, especially from some of their best servers, and that's what we're seeing. Hawaii's best servers are not on right now. So, you know, I know CSUN, you want to play within your game, but you can ramp it up a little bit. Try to see if you can gap this.
Stelian, very good looking serve, and Jatriski, his attack is offline. And now CSUN, they have a little bit of a very small cushion. But remember, once upon a time, they were down for the count, and now here they are up. Going with Stelian once again, very solid serve, and that's probably the best looking serve here in this set so far. Sacrificing the velo for location that time. And how about that? Bertozzi. He is coming in clutch here in this game, kicking in exactly when they need him.
I've never really seen Stelian put that serve in there. Maybe that's something that he's worked on this week. Taking off some of the speed, putting it short. They even put it on.
He's going to have drawn up here for this set. This will be his third consecutive serve. This time going with the velo, and didn't work like he intended it to. Adrian War. The Bows trailing by 2, but the Matadors up by 2 sets. Trying to set that one up, and Bertozzi. And well, you could definitely read Coach Wade's body language, frustrated, and you could just also tell right away trying to do some officiating as well, trying to say, hey, that was out, but this is Matador ball. Here's Constable. Choi on the receiving end. Constable trying to bring that one back, and Phillips.
Incredible play right there. Once again, Donovan showing how capable he is with one hand. Flicks it backwards to Jalen to find that open seam in the court.
So timeout going to be used here for Coach Charlie Wade. We'll step aside here from the action. 13-9 in set number 3. 2-0 in 2 sets in favor of the Matadors. Hoping that it can turn the tides here a bit. Down by 4 here in set number 3. Sokonoko receiving that, and they're going to set that one up and count it. And you said they needed to incorporate Sokonoko just a little more here in this match.
Really, really energetic when you get him going. And Hawaii, frankly, they just look flat. So that's someone, you know, hey, if we're going to go down, let me try to get my spark plug going here.
That was Ofek Hassan. That was on the service that time.
Love to see Shane get involved. He's a junior college guy. Hadn't played middle blocker until his since his junior college days. Got the start last week and had an incredible week. Really impressive to see him get going.
No problems for Ward to receive that one. See if they can save it. Nope, that gets lost in the scramble.
There's Kurt right there begging for his team. Let's get involved. Feed me. Let's get fired up. We cannot go down like this.
It's a very frustrated Rainbow Warriors sideline. As Tatriski overcooked. And now it's the Rainbow Warriors. They are coming up with some service errors, giving up some points. And at this point, they're limited on the amount of points that they can allow here.
Absolutely. You could feel the pressure. You could see it by the coaching staff. Big exhales after that miss. They're back in the corner. It'll be fun to see how they respond.
Trying to set up Tatriski. Last touch there by the Matadors. That was Shane that ended up touching that one last. Giving the ball back over to the Rainbow Warriors. Remember, folks, the Matadors will be back in action here tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, same start. You guys can keep up with the game on live stats or follow Go Matadors, as that will be another service error here for the Rainbow Warriors. And as we mentioned just earlier before, a lot of action this weekend for CSUN Athletics. Softball playing tomorrow, they're playing one. Baseball playing one tomorrow, that'll be on ESPN+. And then you have this one, Hawaii, and you have the Matadors. Conference action, left and right in full stretch. Still able to preserve that. Trying to come up on the kill, free block.
After the big block right there, trying to energize. Really good press. Joao's challenging that block, but for once, you know, tonight you're seeing this block from Hawaii get really involved, low and across, just taking the land in front of them.
There is Wade. He's got a couple of opportunities to try to come up with a service. And see Hawaii blockers getting really active. And credit that one for the Matadors. seeing a lot of just a couple of the tussle going on there at the net. I mean, take a look at this.
You can see the block pulled down right there because when it gets tight, you just figure a smaller attacker is just going to try to push you left or right. That time he went straight ahead. Rosenthal made the wrong decision and pulled his hands, found it right in his forehead.
Pedro Avila, service ace.
It's those hybrid serves that have just been so productive for CSUN, especially Joao. His serve, and sometimes he'll crank up the heat, and that's probably what keeps it so unpredictable. You don't know if this is going to be a topspin, which it is right there, or like that previous ace, that float serve.
We'll bring it back to a 4-point game. It was an absolute beautiful service ace. Can't get enough of that one coming from Joao Pedro Avila. And going back over to Tread Rosenthal, looking for the youngster to get a rhythm here for Hawaii. Bertozzi, Constable, drawing it up for Phillips. And Phillips again just can't, haven't seen him these last couple of plays. Need to get him back and incorporated. And I think at this point, if you're the Matadors, you start thinking about how do we close this match down. And you know what? In my opinion, I think that's one of the tougher things. I know you can maybe emphasize that a little bit more, Coach, how closing matches could be the toughest thing.
A little bit of luck, a little bit of magic right there from Stillian. Once again, when he comes from behind Donovan, you know that they're going to try to run them. Sometimes it's better to be lucky, as they say, right? Everyone for Hawaii drew it up perfectly, but the mistimed tip falls for the Matadors. Stillian.
Very good serve. Ends up being a side out against CSUN. As Adrian War ended up coming up with it. And well, you can see the Rainbow Warriors. Kill right there. Give it to Shane. Being able to come up with a kill.
And in those moments, you're going to see him get a lot of one-on-one blocks. His game's a little bit unknown right now. Only 1 week's worth of film. Everyone's a little bit more dialed in on some of those other attackers. So it's really important when he gets those opportunities that he scores.
And Constable struggling on that service. Going with service error number 18 here on the night. Ofek Hazan. He comes up with it. Here's Hazan. There is Bertozzi. The Rainbow Warriors got to keep this one up. Tatriski, now it's Constable. Setting that one up for Phillips. And that one cannot be dug up. Four more here for the Matadors, but as we said before, so near, but yet so far, because closing matches down, the toughest part of the game, in my opinion.
Very, very hard part, but luckily we got Bertozzi from the back line, who's confident with his serve.
Setting that one up, and again, just as we said, making it tough. Now we're starting to see Adrian War figuring things out, starting to score, trying to keep this match as close as possible.
Interesting lineup right here. So they put in Finn Kearney on the outside. They're keeping them in. That's a left-handed outside that's now staying in the front row for Hawaii.
Constable setting up Phillips. Yes! So we saw Phillips. He was a little MIA, missing in the action right now, but now starting to see him figuring out, drawing up some great looking attacks. And Phillips right now, 14 kills. He is all evened up here with Tatriski in the match for the most kills in the match. 10 for Avila. That'll be a service error. Gotta find the points where they're presented here for the Matadors. Finn Kearney. Trying to look for a conference win number 1 here for the Matadors. Bertozzi, Phillips, overcooked. It's a little offline, but you can't play with fire. Certainly a spark being lit up here for Hawaii. As Coach Edwards going to use up a timeout here in this one, as it is a 22-20 lead here for the Matadors. Points away from finishing this one. Points away from seeing the first conference win here for the Matadors, and also points away from busting an upset. Left-handed jump serve, attacking the back line. Constable over to Phillips.
Cross-court punch there. Perfect pass. Really makes those blockers have to sit. You could see no middle blocker help. Jalen saw the huge hole, just punched it past him.
So another timeout being used here on the floor. As we go ahead and keep it here, Alex Nebeca alongside of me is Coach Aquiles Montoya, the women's volleyball head coach, and just what we've seen here tonight here from the Matadors. I mean, just absolute great stuff, great things. They've been working and hunting and trying to look for that first conference win. We've seen nothing but great execution, a lot of great plays drawn up here by Coach Edwards. And like you said throughout the broadcast, they did their homework. They did their research here to play against the Rainbow Warriors, and they came ready to play here today.
Absolutely. From the service line, where they're going after, what passers are going to be involved in this game, what blockers we're going to try to take out, and distributing the ball. I mean, what I just love to see is that everyone's getting some, and you're just seeing Hawaii's blocks struggle with it, especially in those 2 to 3 pass scenarios where they just can't go and camp on someone. Even Jalen Phillips has not been perfect as of late, so it's not the same CSUN that people have prepared for in weeks before. But, you know, definitely the Charlie and the Tap wanted to dial up some sort of play as Jalen Phillips, the bigger blocker, goes back to serve. And while definitely Donovan can hold his own at the net, we might see a little bit of exposure here.
Rosenthal to Zatrisky. Looking for this one. Phillips! Again, going with Phillips. Trying to go in and have that closer-like mentality as they bring up match point. Phillips at the service line. This is going to go over the net. Can they finish? Your CSUN Matadors. They upset Hawaii.
You gotta love it for the Matadors. A fantastic match for them to get their first Big West win of the season. They were definitely disappointed by dropping both to Santa Barbara last week. So to protect the home floor and take this one against Hawaii, they know they got another tough battle tomorrow, but to take this one means a lot for them moving forward.
Tonight, the Matadors will celebrate. Tomorrow they'll be back in the office, 6 o'clock, here from the Premier American Credit Union Arena. Folks, if you have not bought in your tickets just yet, what are you doing? You have to be here. Hang out with Coach, and you got to see this one. Will the Matadors come up with the sweep, or will they split the series here against Hawaii? Great turnout here by the green. Great turnout here by the black and the red here in attendance here in this one. An absolute great one. As the Matadors, with this win, they now have an overall record of 16-7, 1-4 in conference play. And now Hawaii, they are now 4-1 in conference play, 21-3 overall record. So once again, folks, with great emphasis, if you can't be here tomorrow, definitely be here tomorrow to see some Big West action, Big West play in this one. Just nothing but great quality.